Hey guys, it's Jackson, and in this video I'm going to do something a little bit different. It doesn't look directly related to game development, but it definitely is. I'm going to share with you 5 of my favorite books, and they're books that have shaped me as a person and have definitely helped me become a better game developer, in the sense that I feel like they've helped me figure out who I am, what I want out of anything, whether it's game development or like some other form of art or like work or like just in life in general, because I think this is going deep already, but I think the truth is that none of those things are actually really separate from each other. Nothing's really separate from each other. And I think what you think and feel about one area of your life is really, it's reflected in everything else. So really, by improving one part of your life, you're improving all parts of your life, but that's a topic for another time perhaps. But what I thought would be interesting today is I've just picked out 5 books. I read a lot, and you know, there's plenty of other ones that I could talk about, but I've only got a couple here with me now, and I'm just going to go through them and just I don't know, maybe I'll explain a little bit about what they are and maybe read a little bit from them. But the first one, this is backwards for me. I don't know if it's backwards for you, I hope not. But it's The Essential Writings of Ralph Waldo Emerson. I don't want you to read the whole thing. You can if you want, but in particular, basically this is a collection of essays. And the one that I want to point you to in particular is called SelfReliance. And this one... What's this one? It's pretty much what it says it is. Self-reliance, and like what it means to rely on yourself and to trust your own perception of things, and the way that applies to things like game development and art and creative pursuits and like work and like life work and all of that is, well, if you want to do something original, you need to rely on this, right? Like, you're not going to do something unique and original if you're copying other people and you don't trust your own judgment and you don't trust your own perception and your own genius, which is what he calls it in this. But I might read you a quote and then I'll move on to the next one. This is one of my favorite quotes, and it's a bit wordy, so I'll try and go slow so it makes sense. But I remember the first time I read this was in another book, and I had to read it like 6 times because I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? And this whole book actually is a little bit like that. It's like you sort of read parts of it and then you're just like, hang on, like you've really got to think to sort of understand what he's saying. But here we go. So, quote, "There is a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance, that imitation is suicide, that he must take for himself for better or for worse as his portion. That though the wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him but through the stoil, God, I haven't read anything out loud for so long, this is like so weird, let me try that again. That though the whole wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him but through his toil bestowed on that plot of ground which is given to him to till. The power which resides in him is new in nature, and none but he knows what it is that he can do, nor does he know until he has tried." So you might have to listen to that again or read that a couple of times to get it, but I'm not going to explain what I think it means because I feel like everybody should have their own interpretation of what's written on these pages, because the thing about books is it's like good books anyway, you don't read them for the literal information. I think what you're really doing when you're reading a book, which he actually talks about in this, is that you're actually looking for things that you already know, but just to hear them from somebody else. Which is, it's funny that I brought that up because I remember him talking about that in this exact essay. can't remember the exact quote, but he just says, "Man is timid and apologetic. He is no longer upright. He dares not to say, 'I think I am,' but quotes some saint or sage. He is ashamed before the blade of grass or the blowing rose. These roses under my window make no reference to former roses or to better ones, for they are what they are. They exist today." He's literally talking shit about me right now because I'm literally quoting him instead of quoting myself. And that's exactly what this essay is. It's just he's just pointing out that, maybe you don't need to look to other people to know what you think. And maybe you should trust that spark that glimmers across your mind a little bit more than you do. The Essential Writings of Ralph Waldo Emerson, SelfReliance. Now, the next one, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. A course in discovering and recovering your creative self. This one is a 12-week course, and week by week it has a section where she goes over a couple of topics, and then at the end there's like a bunch of exercises that she gets you to do. And they're really fun, and they're really easy, and they're good to do. Like, they feel good to do. And I've done this course twice, the full 12 weeks twice, and I think I'm about ready to go for round 3 because I'm a huge fan. And every time I've gone through this, I've always come out on a massive creative bender. Like, I've hit the fucking ground running and like built up so much momentum. This book is sneaky because the way that she writes, she's quite an old woman, and she's very fucking wise, and she writes in a way that it's I think especially to a young man, if you're a young man, you might read parts of this and sort of think, oh, that's sort of like silly, and it doesn't quite resonate with like the warrior inside you that you think you want to be. But when you're reading this, I suppose I just want to say, don't be deceived by the simplicity of what she's saying, and I guess like the frivolity of some of the exercises, because it's just a surface appearance. You look at these and you think, oh, like, how can that be related to like me becoming more productive and creative and being less afraid, or like, being a more powerful creator. Like, you look at these exercises and you can't make the connection, but then when you actually do them, it's so sneaky how they change the way that you think. And a lot of what she does in this, you might not be familiar with this term, but the term is shadow work. A lot of the exercises in this they're shadow work exercises, and what that basically means is it's putting you in touch with parts of yourself that it's what you call your shadow. It's like you've got all your thoughts about who you think you are as a person, and then there's a shadow side to everybody that we're all unconscious of. But inside that shadow, there's things that we don't like, which is why it's unconscious, because we don't want to look at it. But there's also things that we do like, and there's positive qualities about us that we were afraid to own when we were younger because they got us into trouble when we were younger. So, things like healthy aggression is a quality that might be a shadow for a lot of people, because anger is something that makes people uncomfortable, and if you're angry as a child, chances are that anger was demonized in you and suppressed when that could have actually been cultivated into healthy aggression. And a lot of what she does in this book in a very sneaky way is sort of helps you dig into that shadow a little bit and uncover a bit of those things that you know are a part of you, but you're not aware of it all the time. And as you become aware of all of those parts, suddenly you become really light. You feel really lightweight and like really excited to create, because that's what creativity is. It's expressing deep emotions. And the reason that a lot of us struggle with creative blocks is because we're afraid to do and express the things that we actually really feel. So that's what this book helps you with. And it's a fucking, look, I've read the shit out of this. Like, I've highlighted everything and like written in all the margins, and it's been a really well loved book. But the margins are very wide, so you can write quite a lot in it. And she puts lots of fantastic quotes on the sides as well, which are really interesting. But yeah, this is leaning more towards the spiritual side, and I think it does take a little bit of an open mind, but I am a huge fan of that one. This is another one. This is a very spiritual one, actually. So is the next one. We're going off the deep end now, kids. We're only 2 books in. Oh, not really, but this one is Deepak Chopra, actually. The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Now, I've shared things that I've read from Deepak Chopra before, and people got really mad at me. For reasons, I guess. Well, why would that have been? Because he talks about a lot of spiritual, mystical shit that doesn't make a lot of sense, or it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. And that can be triggering for people, and that was definitely triggering for me when I was younger. And I remember when I first got this book, and the first time I read through it, or tried to read it, I didn't understand like 90% of what he was saying. He was using words like fucking... Let's go through it, shall we? And let's pick some out. So this is the first law. The law of pure potentiality. The source of all creation is pure consciousness. Pure potentiality seeking expression from the unmanifest to the manifest. And when we realize that our true self, with a capital S, is one of pure potentiality, we align with the power that manifests everything in the universe. See, I read that, and like, I can still remember a time when I was like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? And I'm still not sure that I entirely get it all. But I think I do get a lot of it now. And it took years, I think. Like, I read it once, and then maybe a year later I picked it up and read it again. And the second time through, I remember, because I'd learnt a little bit more about meditation and spirituality and things like that. Creativity and, you know, finding your purpose and meaning in life. These are all topics that are covered in this book. I remember learning a little bit about all of that, and I came back to this book and I was like, damn, this actually really makes a lot of sense, and this is actually a lot deeper than I thought. But I think with this one, it could be very easy to be put off by some of the language that he uses. And I just want to encourage you, if you're going to get this one, to have an open mind and to look at what he's trying to say beneath all of the language. Because the words that people use to describe things aren't the thing that they're trying to describe. And the meaning and the thing that's going to be valuable to you isn't the words. It doesn't matter what words people use or if you can remember the words or not. The point that you're trying to get is to read this and have him paint a picture of this thing that's beneath the words, and for that experience of understanding that to do something to your mind, which then changes you as a person. So try to just keep that in mind when you read this. But I'm just going to see if I can find... So the law of pure potentiality. This is the very first step of his 7 steps. And basically what he's saying is that the first step to achieving anything and defining your purpose in life is essentially silence. Oh, my phone's about to go flat. I hope it doesn't. Maybe I should hurry this up. And basically, silence being meditation and listening and stopping the cycle of automatic thoughts and you identifying yourself. I think one of the reasons that we have so much trouble with finding our quote-unquote purpose in life is because we're just on a fucking... we're running on a wheel of beliefs about who we think we are and what we're looking for, and we never actually take the time to listen. And just personally, I can say that that's definitely true. Like for me, stillness and silence, like internal silence in your mind, that's the space through which your creative ideas come, and that's the space through which insight comes, and originality and all of that. So that's the first point in this book, and there's 6 other points about focusing on things with unbending intention in order to have things go the way that you want them to go, which doesn't... It sounds so fucking silly when you put it like that, but this one's a little bit woo-woo, but I'm a fucking huge fan. I'm a huge fan of it, honestly. The second law is the law of giving. The third law is the law of karma. So the law of karma is you reap what you sow, basically. And that what you are sowing is occurring in every single choice that you make in every single moment. The law of giving is basically what goes around comes around, which sounds so simple and everybody sort of pays lip service to that, but fucking powerful. The law of least effort, which is a good one, but yeah, I think I'm going to move on before my phone goes flat. Really good book, huge fan of that. Last one, another spiritual crazy motherfucker. Creativity, Unleashing the Forces Within by Osho. Osho is a fucking... he's a unit, bro. He's a fucking... God, I don't even know where to start with Osho. He's another one of those characters where it's like, he says a lot of crazy shit, and it's not about the things that he says, it's the things that he's pointing to with his words. So maybe I should just read you some quotes from this and just see if they make sense. He makes a really interesting distinction between what he calls action and activity. And he does this a bunch of times with different things, and like sort of the essence of what he's saying is that creativity sort of, it happens by itself. He says, quote, "Be aware, feel the difference between action and activity, and when activity takes a hold of you, in fact it should be called possession, when the activity possesses you like a ghost, and activity is a ghost, it comes from the past, it is dead. When activity possesses you and you become feverish, then become more aware. That's all you can do. Watch it." That didn't make any fucking sense. Relaxation is like a flowering. You cannot force it. You have to understand the whole phenomenon. Why you are so active, why so much occupation with activity, and why you are obsessed with it. Again, that doesn't really make any sense. I think I'm trying to pick out things out of context, and that's not going to work. basically the point it is trying to make, I think, if I try and compress it, is that you can't force yourself to be creative, and that the compulsion to do things, which is what he calls activity, because you're anxious to just trust yourself to act on your own, that this compulsion towards activity is actually a block to creativity, and that real action arises on its own, or something like that. God, dude, I feel like I'm talking shit right now. Activity is goal-oriented, action is not. Action is overflowing of energy. Action is in the moment, a response, unprepared, unrehearsed. Just the whole existence meets you, confronts you, and then a response comes. The birds are singing and you start singing. It is not an activity. Suddenly it happens. Suddenly you find it is happening. You have started humming. You have started humming. This is action. My memory just filled up on my phone, but let's see if we can finish this. So that's the difference between action and activity. It's like activity is something that's, sort of, I guess, forced because you don't trust life to happen on its own, and an action, by comparison, is something that arises up out of you. It's not something that you think about. It's not something that you premeditate on. It's not something that you plan. It's not something that you try to contrive and make happen. It's just a natural response that comes out of you when you trust the flow of life and you trust yourself. It's like the birds start singing and then you start singing. It's like you don't think about it, you just do it. And that is just one of the points that he points out that helps you become more creative. It's just this idea of creativity isn't something that you do, it's something that you allow. And by trying to measure it and fit it into a box and like make it happen in a certain way, like, oh, it's activity. It's just anxious activity, as opposed to organic action that comes up and out. But my fucking phone memory, man, is doing my head in, so I'm gonna wrap this up because it keeps filling up. But Creativity, Unleashing the Forces Within by Osho. He's a very interesting dude with a lot of crazy fucking thoughts, but very insightful. And the last book is actually an empty journal. It's an empty journal because all of your most important insights and your biggest revelations are going to come from you writing out your own thoughts, reflecting on your own life experience, and learning lessons for yourself. Reading from other people is absolutely fantastic, and you'll learn a lot, and it's part of the same process. But the other side of the process, so you read the information from other people, and then you digest it, and it comes out into your journal in your own way, in your own life experiences. This is actually something that I picked up from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, which was the second book I introduced. She recommends as part of her course to write 3 pages every morning, just vomiting onto the page as soon as you wake up of just whatever comes to mind. And it's hard to describe exactly what that does, but it does a lot of things. For one, it moves you into action first thing in the morning. 2, it's like therapy because you're processing everything that's going on in your head and you're putting it out onto a page, and then it's out and it's real. When you've got thoughts bouncing around in your head, they can be very sort of ethereal and overwhelming and sort of vague and weird, but once they're out on the paper, it's like they're a tangible thing that you can look at. And I think you'll surprise yourself with the amount of insights that'll come through into a journal as well. It's not just for people who quote unquote write. It's just a private thing that you do for yourself. And you'll find that a lot of your most creative ideas will just spew onto the page first thing in the morning when you're half asleep, because you're not, all your filters aren't there yet. It's like when you wake up and your ego is like back into place, you've got all ideas about who you are and the thoughts that you typically think and what's okay and what's not okay and what's possible and what's not possible. First thing in the morning, not a whole lot of that shit's there, and so you write onto the page and you're actually honest and real, and it's more like a dream. It's more like a... Alright, that's it, because my phone is freaking the fuck out. But those are the books. check out my Gumroad, check out my marketplace if you want to support the channel.